everybody, Coach Contento here, and today I would like to talk to you about equipment. Now, I see a lot of people spending hundreds of dollars on brand new drivers from one year to the next. Now, there is some slightly incremental changes in the drivers from year to year, but unless your driver's more than about 3 or 4 years old, you're not going to notice that much difference. So stick with what you got, learn how to hit it. But I do want to talk to you about wedges. It is one of the most important clubs in your bag, and yet people don't spend enough thought in picking out the wedges that work best for them. Now, back in the 80s, one of the top manufacturers wanted to have the marketing ploy that they had the longest irons in golf. So what they did is they took a 9-iron, and they put a pitching wedge label on it. An 8, they made a 9, a 7, they made an 8. So as you can see, all they did is they strengthened the lofts. So people would grab the club, they really didn't know how much loft was on these clubs, it wasn't labeled. They'd hit the pitching wedge and go, man, I hit this as far as my old 9-irons. These things are great. Well, as you know, everybody tends to follow each other in this industry. So what a pitching wedge used to be was 50 degrees. Now the standard pitching wedges are somewhere around 46. Some of them are even 45 degrees. So there's not a lot of loft on them. Then you buy a sand wedge, which is 56 degrees aloft. So you've got one club, 56, devoted to all of your very short shots. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. At the very least, go out and get a gap wedge. Gap wedge is somewhere between 50 to 52 degrees, so you can gap that space between your pitching wedge and your sand wedge. It's a lot easier to just pull the club for the right distance than trying to manufacture a shot with one club. Now, I have a pitching wedge, which is 46 degrees. I also have a gap wedge. This is 50 degrees. I have a sand wedge, which is 54, and I also have a sand wedge, which is 58. In order to make room in my bag, I eliminated my 3-iron. As I can tell you, you're going to have a lot more shots into the green to save par or birdie with a wedge in your hand than you ever will trying to hit a 3-iron in. I also believe that you should go out and invest in what I would consider a blade style wedge. As you can see, the base on them is not really wide. They come in various degrees of bounce, and bounce is really nothing more than, if you were to take the bottom edge of the club, how does the bottom angle away from the front? Now, this particular club, it has 12 degrees of bounce. I use this for softer sand. The other ones have 10 degrees of bounce, so I use it for firmer sand. If you have a set of clubs that has a wedge, a sand wedge, basically that comes along with it, that's fine, but they're sort of one-trick ponies. I want you to notice that this particular manufacturer, see how much wider the sole plate is? It's twice as wide. So when you go into the fairway and you open a wedge up, you can see you can still slide the leading edge under the ball. But with these, it's really impossible. So go out, get yourself at least a gap wedge, invest in some good wedges, and watch your scores improve. Thank you.